Okay, Mr. Savannarath here. Welcome to another video on verifying your trig identities. So I want my left side to look like the right side. That's the whole game. This one will be a little bit lengthy, so bear with me. It might be like a 10-minute one here. Okay, so I'm gonna cover up my right side. I don't need to see what I'm gonna get. I'm just gonna try to simplify what I can here. So I'm gonna rewrite this without the cosine spelling out, so it's easier to see, okay? So it's 1 over 1 plus c. C means cosine. 1 over 1 minus c. So now you ended up with the fractions with two different denominators. So you have to try to get your common denominator. So you multiply this one, the 1 minus c, by 1 plus c in the bottom and 1 plus c at the top. And in the first parentheses here, you're going to multiply by 1 minus c and 1 minus c. Okay? So now after you multiply it, the bottom should be easily multiplied. You should know how to get that multiplied. If not, then review the product of binomials, the difference of binomial. So now you get 1 squared minus c squared. And then on the top here, you get 1 minus c. Okay, that's distributing your 1 times negative c, 1 times 1. Then you got a plus right here. And then you get 1 times 1. It's the same thing like the top and the front denominator, front fraction, the first fraction. So now you can see that they are on the same floor. You can simplify your c's. C minus c is 1. So now you got a 2. Awesome. I think I saw a 2 somewhere here. See that? Okay. So you have a 2, which is good. So now 1 minus cosine square, if you remember that Pythagorean theorem, the biggest thing in chapter 5.1, sine square plus cosine square equals 1. So if I subtract cosine square from both sides, I'll get sine square equals 1 minus cosine square. So 1 minus cosine square is sine square. And again, I did not write the sine and cosine, spell it out. I just used the S for that. If they said simplified, I'm going to be done with this. But this problem says I have to verify. I have to make it look like that. They don't look the same, so I'm not happy. What I'll do next is try to convince myself that this part here is the same as that part. This whole fraction is the same as no fraction, which is kind of weird, but you can think like this. This is 2 times 1 over sine square. Okay, for those of you guys that are not familiar with breaking up fractions like this, it's like sliding out your 2 this way and then slide the s square back here. So that's how I see it. Because it's the same thing. You can put 1 there or no 1 there. Okay? All right, so that 2 sits there. This right here is called the inverse of that. There's an inverse of sine. Inverse of sine, the opposite of s is c, so I'm going to call it a cosecant. Okay, we learned about that one before. I'll bring it up here. I might need more room. So now I'm down to 2 and cosecant squared. So I don't have a fraction anymore. Now, I have to spell out cosecant because I want to make it look different than cosine. If I just put c squared, I'm not going to be happy with that. Because cosecant is cosecant, not cosine. All right, I'm almost there. So I have a fraction turned into a product. All right. So now I still need a few things to get that last bit done. So I'm going back to my Pythagorean theorem right here. Remember, I was teaching you guys, or I taught you guys how to simplify this. If you want cosecant, cosecant is 1 divided by sine. If you want square, you have to get a square on top. So let's see how that works again. So I'm not going to So there's 1 here. So sine square plus cosine square equals 1. Divide this by sine square. Okay. So if you divide by sine square, you get cosecant square already. So that's cosecant square of any angle. Right now the angle is x, so we'll just put the x here. So once you multiply by divide by sine on this side, you're gonna have to keep dividing by sine square on all of them. Okay, sorry, I just wrote the whole sign, not s. Let's see, sine divided by sine is 1, both squares and everything. Cosine on sine, sine on cosine, if sine is on top, is tangent. When you have a cosine on top, it's cotangent. If you have square, that's a square. So now what is that doing? That means every time you see cosecant square, that is the trade-off. Substitute. So now you're going to get 2 cosecant square is 1 plus cotangent square. Now when you distribute your 2 in here, then you get to verify your work. Hope that's good. Okay. Video is getting a bit long now. It's about 6 minutes, but it's worth it. Okay. So rewind the video, go back and watch it if you missed any part. All right, I'm out.